Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Godzilla podcast. I am Joe.
I'm Drew.
And we are... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm Chris.
Welcome, Chris. Thank you for joining us today. Chris has been a Patreon donor for a long time now, and we really appreciate your help, Chris. And yeah, we're going to get right into it. We're going to go through your Godzilla journey. So
this is becoming a religious-style podcast where it's like, how has Godzilla been in throughout your life? What is your Godzilla path?
I'm slowly converting friends as we speak, so don't worry.
Good job.
Yeah. But
spreading the G word.
When I was I think 4, I can remember going to my grandmother's house in Chicago. I'm from Pennsylvania originally, so this was a once a year thing. And we'd watch just movies with the family, and my mom's two of her older brothers were extremely into those movies, and one of them got his kids really into it, and then he got me really into it, of course. So I annoyed my parents enough to get as many as I could, and my uncles would send me some to watch, and now I have just a collection that I've gathered over the years of just various absurdities, and I've seen every single film since. And it's, I just try and consume as many films that they can throw at me, I guess.
Man,
how old were you?
I'm 24.
Oh, how old were you when you were watching the Godzilla films?
Oh, when I started 4, so
4. Oh,
it's
wow.
been a 20-year journey now, yeah.
All right, well, you answered both of my first questions very quickly.
Shit.
Yeah.
The other one?
How dare you?
Try to
yeah.
You're speeding past the questions, man. Just good.
Where are you from? What got you into Godzilla? Sorry, what was the first Godzilla movie?
Probably King Kong versus Godzilla.
Not a bad start.
Yeah, I think it was that one. I can remember the octopus scene extremely well, and I can remember them Kong tearing through the wires the first time. So
was that your first King Kong film too?
Oh, I might have seen the 33 King Kong first, because that's one of my dad's favorite movies. So he if that was on, it was most likely when I was a kid. If there was a good movie my dad thought I would like, he'd make sure I saw it. So I'm pretty sure Kong came first.
King Kong and then Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
No. So, have you seen that old King Kong recently?
Not in 5 or 6 years, no.
Oh, it's way more violent than you will ever remember.
Oh yeah, I do remember that dude getting eaten. it still sticks in my mind. It's terrifying.
People getting trampled on. I'm like, woo.
It's
I don't even know if they would do this today.
No.
Every single Godzilla King Kong film has that T-Rex jaw breaking since the first one, and that's always oh.
Yeah, the one where he I don't know which one it is. I think it's the 76 one. He rips that snake in half or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's got a finishing move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Signature, exactly. His signature, what is it? Fatality. He breaks their jaws.
Can you remember what monster Godzilla broke the jaw of?
Oh, in the first one?
Well,
he
was only by himself in the first one.
Because in the original one, it was the meat eaters or whatever they were called. They called them that in the script, I think.
No, I know it is. Can we start the quiz now? I know the answer.
Oh. Go ahead, Drew.
It's this. Are you talking about the second film when he does it to Anguirus?
Anguirus. I don't remember if he does it in the second film, but I know he does it in Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
Oh yeah, he does do it to he does do it to Anguirus. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
He just like slowly opens his mouth.
Yeah, and he's like bleeding, and it's like like he said, the oatmeal looking thing falling out. Yeah.
I mean, this is terrible. But what's the one? Your one with your woman, Joe. The one solo Kong film with Mecha
King Kong escape.
See, but doesn't he break Gorosaurus's jaw in that one?
Yeah, and he starts foaming at the mouth, and Gorosaurus is one of my boys, man.
So like the rule of thumb when making a Kong film, he has to fall in love with a blonde woman, and he has to break the jaw of a T-Rex type animal. If you don't have those two elements, the film cannot exist. They have to be
I know one that's King Kong versus Godzilla. I don't think the woman's blonde.
Semantics.
Yeah.
But she's blonde in our hearts.
There we go. She has a blonde moment where she just kind of like doesn't really like run away ever, I don't think, in that movie. I think she's
That's what I was going to say. If she has a blonde moment or acts blonde, then it works. Wiggle room.
Of course.
I'm blonde. I'm allowed to say this.
That's right.
Me too.
Yeah.
So, let's go through each era.
Okay.
And kind of go, because you've obviously seen all the films.
Yes.
Unlike certain people who host Godzilla podcasts.
Yeah. And you started younger than either of us as well. I was a teenager, and Joe was probably just before 10, right?
I was 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
So it was pretty young, but I only had like the 2 movies. I had Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and I had Godzilla vs. Mothra. I got them both the same year, and my first one was Godzilla vs. Mothra. Yeah. Both on Christmas in Sheridan, Wyoming. Top 3 Showa era films.
All right. Are we discounting the original? Because I think that's not fair.
It's all right. Yeah, you can discount the original.
Yeah, because that's
because it's the best.
It is, without a doubt. But let's see. Number 1 for me is Terror of Mechagodzilla, because I watched that all the time. Like I've probably seen that over 100 times. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah. When I was a kid, my brother and I had that movie on repeat, and because we had like one of those DVD players in the car. So. Mm-hmm. That just like
you lucky ooh.
Did you say you do Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So just this morning, G-Man himself posted the European poster for Terror of Mechagodzilla, and I'm pretty sure the European title was like Monsters from an Unknown Planet. And they did some badass artwork of like, it's one of those horizontal theater prints that has like, it shows all the monsters off and they're like pain and glory. It was cool. So I can see how that one's so high on your, so that would technically be your number 1, right? If we're discounting.
Yeah, if we're discounting the original, that's my number 1. And then Mothra is followed very closely versus Godzilla. That one's just like the story behind that one's really tight. Doesn't have like a human story that like is extremely like nonsensical, you know, and it has a good ratio of monster and human, which unfortunately the rest of the Showa era leans heavily one or the other for a lot of the later movies, I think, you know.
Every once in a while, I feel like we're in a college classroom talking about these Godzilla films because the ratio of human to Godzilla, a monster battle. Yes.
I talk with my friends about movies like this, and it's way too much, and it's kind of getting like to the point where it's like, why aren't we just doing podcasts? And then like here we are.
Dude, there are so many of them. Joe and I, not to do any spoilers, he came up with some ideas for a spinoff that's still kind of a giant monster podcast. So, dude, just add to do it.
Yep, exactly. Yep, I'm doing it.
See, there's no such thing as competition in podcasts because people who listen to a lot of podcasts,
they want more.
Just keep listening to podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some more for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that is a pretty cool poster, actually, Drew.
Yeah,
I'm
so
looking
you're
at it
looking
right
at
now.
right now.
G-Man's post. Yeah,
Yeah,
I retweeted it, and I'm pretty sure he posted it today or late last night. But I enjoyed the title too, because unlike a lot of the European, especially the German titles, it makes sense. I don't know how they would have possibly redubbed it to make that title make more sense, or if they even would have, changed some of the wording at all. But anyway, I just thought that was cool, coincidental.
The
Terror of Mechagodzilla. Was that easy to get a hold of, like when you were a kid?
So, I've been because it's my favorite. I've been like trying to research the releases that have come out. Apparently, the one I had was part of a box set, which I still have. Let me see if I can find it. It's like a classic media version, but it was, I think, the made for TV version, because you don't see the kids getting like almost trampled by Titanosaurus. You don't see Titanosaurus dragging the sub down in the intro. You don't see the fake tits in the end. That I was
the whole reason you watched
a child. I was unaware they existed. But let me see if I can find it.
Well, while you're looking, man, that movie and just Ebirah in my head, like Godzilla vs. Ebirah, the Sea Monster, whatever, those two stand out in my mind for me, and I'm pretty sure Joe as well, as films that we didn't see as kids. But in doing this podcast, we were both like, I don't know, Terror of Mechagodzilla for sure.
Pleasantly surprised by.
Oh, totally, yeah. I had middling expectations going in, but then I was like, wow, that was really good.
Like, I wish that when I was a kid, I had access to the sequel of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. I would have watched both those movies over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
So I only watched one, but...
yeah, so it's the Ultimate Godzilla DVD collection from, Classic Media SMV.
Gonna have to post that on the Discord.
Yeah, it came with Godzilla vs. Mothra, Terra Mechagodzilla, King of the Monsters, like the original one, and Godzilla's Revenge and Rodan.
Let's see. Does it have Godzilla on the front and he's kind of blue?
On which one?
The Ultimate Godzilla DVD collection.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing it on eBay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never seen this one. This is a 2002 collection, so I guess that's about right.
Yeah,
I was
think...
in the.
Yeah, go ahead.
I started in the VHS era, so.
Oh yeah.
But this is pretty early DVD, 2002.
Those were the first ones that I owned, for sure. That's all I remember in terms of owning, like, media.
Mm-hmm. Your brother got you into it? Does he still watch them?
No, I got him into it. He definitely
you got him into it.
My cousin was the one who got me into it. Neither of them, I don't think, really watch it anymore, but I do, like, to this day.
and that's why they're miserable.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah. All right, so Terror Mechagodzilla is your top of the show era outside of the original.
Yep.
Then Godzilla versus Mothra, and
Yes.
I don't even think we need to explain that. I think we all
know why.
Godzilla
That one's
versus
great.
Mothra.
But I honestly, I've been having trouble thinking of like a third one, but probably Ebirah is a fantastic movie now that I think about it, because if like I have trouble thinking of which one to put on, I will put that one on. So I think that's got to be the one.
Okay.
That's a good choice. Sounds like you went with your gut, and sometimes you have to. Don't overthink it like that. Well, we were talking about the scores of these films and how we like, I think when we were talking about 84's Godzilla, and we like that original Ifukube, the score from that one, it's like jazzy and weird, but I like it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Probably works with how it was supposed to be a Godzilla or a Kong film.
Yeah.
I think it's the composer who worked on Mechagodzilla as well.
It is, yes.
Yeah. And on a lot of Kurosawa movies, but it's not like those movies are known for their score. That is it's a very odd composer.
Yeah.
Very, very odd addition to the series, but.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, he's the same composer from the second movie, where it's more of an ethereal, like, sound effect score, not much of a score.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Yeah.
I remember.
I went to school for music, so this is kind of like my thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so
that's gonna help
do
us come
like
up with
must-
the.
like when I hear
Masato
it's talking
Sato.
about like the Ifukube stuff, it's like, well, it's because he's an absolute genius. It's like, everything he does will always be right. But then like Sato, he's like, he had some like masterpieces. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of Kurosawa's. Like, I think I've seen Seven Samurai a million years ago, but the songs he does in Godzilla are like, as somebody who went to arrange for jazz bands, like that stuff is awesome. I have no problem listening to it. Maybe it's not appropriate for a giant monster film, but it's still
Hey, in Abira, it works, man.
Exactly.
The theme for Seven Samurai is reused in Isle of Dogs. I just remembered that. The bum 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 ba-da-dum. So he has some like iconic stuff, the Sato guy. But yeah, out of the Godzilla composers, I think he's definitely second fiddle to.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And maybe even third
fiddle
fiddle because I love the show. I love the music to the Shin Godzilla a lot.
Oh yeah, I wish I remembered his name. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he is. Okay, so do you want to talk about your least favorite show?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably my least favorite is Gigantus the Fire Monster, I guess, specifically that cut, because that is like pretty bad.
One's atrocious.
It's pretty bad. I've gone through a lot of them, and like I dislike Godzilla's Revenge. Yeah, it's that, we all know what it is. It's bad, but at least I can laugh at it, and have some fun.
You can't laugh at endless voiceover.
No, not after a while. It gets annoying. I started.
Go on.
I was just saying, I tried showing it to my fiance, and she just she was she wanted to watch them in order, and I was like, that is a feat. So I will try and get you through the second one, but I'm going to complain the whole time.
You have the Japanese.
And in order meant that you had to show her Gigantus?
Well, it was the only. I couldn't find the other one. I only had that one.
In that case, I would have just pretended that one didn't exist, man. Just being like, yeah.
Go straight to
King
Godzilla
Kong.
versus King Kong. There you go.
Exactly.
All right, that's a good choice for that's. Oh, that might be my second from the bottom. So I would put All Monsters Attack, aka Godzilla's Revenge. I'd put that on the bottom. But Gigantus is headache inducing.
Yeah, I used to think the stock footage films were bad, but you know what? At least they tried to make a story out of it.
I'm like 99% sure that film starts with atomic explosion stock footage, though.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
You're right, yeah.
Oh, and there's weird, like, frogs and crap in a swamp. Like, there's just weird imagery right at the beginning.
You are reminding me that is totally the case. There's some garbage stock footage.
And hey, as long as we're stuck or dogpiling the hate on that film, just real quick, the last week or two, I can't remember who tweeted it out, but somebody pointed out, because of all the bad things we could say about the commenting, like the constant narration in that film, the redundancies. Somebody posted 4 still shots of the little subtitles at the bottom, and they literally say stuff like the fire that burns so hot, the war where people were killed, like stuff like that. It's just like the Picard facepalm, like, oh man.
Speaking of Star Trek.
Yeah. Painful, yeah.
Wow.
Takei putting on a painful accent. Yeah, anyway.
Oh all right. Favorite Heisei movies?
Oh, man. Destroya is probably my favorite.
Destroya.
The dub's spectacularly awful, but besides that, it's really good.
Do you prefer to watch him dubbed or subbed?
When I'm with friends, dub by myself, sub probably.
You know what? Good choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
You really are doing the Godzilla Lord's work, because that's the way you got to do it, man. You got to gauge people's interest in these, Japanese strange films, and like, oh, you haven't seen very many? Let's do a dub. And then if they're a little bit more entrenched in the, this style of film, or maybe Japanese just movies, anime, whatever, you might be able to handle a sub. Yeah.
I'm trying to gauge like my friends' personalities relative to which movie to show them first, because that kind of seems to help.
Tailoring your proselyting preaching to these folks. Good job.
That's right. Spreading the word of God.
The good word of our Lord and Savior. Yep.
Destroya is a good choice for number one.
Destroya's up there. Probably King Ghidorah, even though the time plot's a little goofy. Man, I'm trying to think what would be a good third one.
Only the best Terminator in all Terminators.
Oh yeah. What's that actor's name?
Baseball player, man.
Yeah. The English teacher.
They get a robot and they give him male pattern baldness. That's my favorite thing too.
You can never escape it.
And once again, have to bring up, they had the red disc in there. He was bad.
Yeah, bad red, green good.
But I mean, if you are the person who bought the robot, who programmed the robot, to you, it would be a green disc.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like the aggressiveness.
Yeah.
Like how aggressive is this robot?
It's just like that Simpsons episode. It's like, oh, I see the problem here. You had the bot set to evil.
That was a pretty good, the professor from that series, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
What would you, let's see, we go through the Godzilla.
Yeah.
We got Godzilla 84. You got...
84 is up there.
Biollante.
You know what? Yeah, it's Biollante. Now I think about it. There you go. Like you're
pushing him in a direction, man. You gotta let him,
I was going through chronologically.
7 movies.
Oh, true. You're right. Listing them off isn't very hard.
Yeah. It wasn't gonna be Space Godzilla or anything. That's for sure.
How dare you? What is the hate on Space Godzilla outside of it being absolutely ridiculous?
That.
Okay.
That's it. I don't know. It's like a long movie filled with like nothing but monster special effects, and yet the main villain can't move more than 4 feet forward.
It's the most feeling I get from remembering watching that film of when we were watching the rebirth of Mothra. Just kind of real dumb. I don't know. Not pleasant.
Disagree. I enjoyed it. When we were watching it, and I'm not going to apologize.
Hey, that's fine. So, like, I would say that the guy who really hates Godzilla, he's a lot less one-dimensional than the anime Haruo character.
Ooh.
Like he actually, I found him to be a lot more interesting in retrospect, but it's still not amazing.
I wonder if we're ever going to invite anybody on this show who likes the anime Godzilla movies, because I know those people exist.
Yeah.
I just haven't found them.
They're not going to find them here.
No.
Yeah, sorry.
I would actually also be interested in their opinion, because in my mind, the only, viable stance on those films is either, I really don't like them, or just, meh, they're decent, I guess. If you, love those films, truthfully, tell us why.
I mean,
yeah, you can
my roommate,
the show.
He saw them not being a fan of the series, and he said they were all right by themselves. And, unfortunately, I'm never going to have that experience of being unbiased like that, so I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to truly enjoy it like that.
They're experimental Godzilla films.
That's for sure.
And maybe if they were advertised that way, we'd like them 10% more.
Yeah.
but they tell us we're gonna have Mechagodzilla, and they give us Mechagodzilla City, and that's gonna piss off a lot of people. Oh, it's gonna piss off a lot of people.
I mean, it was a really good exercise in manipulation.
That's right. At least it was on Netflix, and no one had to spend money to watch it.
True.
Yeah.
You just got your grandma's best friend's cousin's Netflix password and just, watch that for free.
What's I mean, you mentioned Space Godzilla. Is that your...
Yeah.
Is that your downer for Heisei?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of them are, like, pretty good. Like, to great. Like, Destroy is great for me. And then the rest are, like, pretty good. It's really hard to watch them and then see them take themselves so seriously, which is kind of like I know that's like a lot of people's opinions on them if they don't like Heisei. And I'm not saying I dislike Heisei. It's just like if I'm going to choose between Showa and Heisei, I'm going to choose Showa because it's just a lot more movies and a lot more fun. Yeah.
Fair enough. What do you think of the Millennium series?
I actually am a huge fan. I really like the anthology series idea that they came up with for it. I think it's really interesting. Like GMK is like my favorite out of them because it's really nice to see pretty much kind of an outside perspective because it's what's his name? The director of the Heisei trilogy of Gamera films doing that movie. And it's really nice seeing, his interpretation of it.
His interpretation of Godzilla?
Yeah, because it's he's, like, Gamera is very mystical, and it's really nice to see that kind of, like, transfer over in a way, because it's the only one that, like, has a very mystical background to it.
Okay.
I don't want.
I haven't seen that one, so
you guys haven't seen it yet.
To...
I don't want to ruin it for you because I'm hoping you guys really like that one because it's probably one of the better ones in the franchise, and a lot of fans tend to agree that way.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I like that one. 2000's up there because. Fantastic film.
Yes. Imbecile.
Like the best dub in the entire franchise. Like it's fantastic.
Have you watched the commentary with the dub director?
No.
On the American. Oh yeah, he talks about like the whole process. He hired only I think he hired only Asian American people to do the
right, so they'd like know the
whole thing,
inflections,
so that the tenor of the voice was correct.
Right.
That was interesting. He talked about what they cut out of the movie and why they cut it out, because I know they cut out a few minutes from the Japanese cut. Very interesting insights in that commentary.
Yeah, I need to check it out because I've seen both versions, but I didn't know like what scenes were cut out. So like I don't know what the differences are necessarily. Like, I'd love to check that just so I can go into it knowing what it is now.
I love the fact that there's two differences. There's different cuts. That means we can do two different commentaries on one of my favorite movies. One of the ones I've seen a million times. And I can hear the music from just before the Regenerator G1 scene. And I'm ready for it. Like, I don't even have to be in the room, and I'll know someone just turned on Godzilla 2000. And I'll race into the room, and then I'll say every line in that scene.
I can just hear Joe's perfect impersonation of the dub actor saying, "Regenerator G1, Regenerator G1." Brilliant.
You found it. You ought to name it.
You discovered it.
Oh, yeah.
You discovered it. You ought to name it. Oh. Then they just come up with the word like the dumbest name. It's still great though. I might call my next production company Regenerator G1.
Oh, please do.
Yeah.
So
my
after,
current one is Space Titanium.
Oh
yeah, I was gonna say, after Space Titanium, then Regenerator G1. Deeper, man, for these names.
Yeah, hopefully no one else in Utah grabs that LLC before I get to it. Those are good choices. What's your number 3?
I gotta think. They're all... Are you gonna hate me? Joe's gonna hate me, but Final Wars.
Oh no, I love you. I don't care what Joe thinks. I'm a Final Wars.
Drew and I over here on the couch, the cool couch.
Yes, man. I'll say it over and over again, but I'll never be more disappointed in Joe than when I first viewed Final Wars, a burnt DVD copy that a friend gave me.
Oh, it was a burnt copy?
Dude, it's because I just was like, my friend, a sort of friend of a friend who knew me, and he knew I was a nerd, and he was a nerd in high school. We had this class together, and he goes, "So I heard you like Godzilla." I'm like, "I barely know this kid." So I go, "Yeah, I do."
He pull you aside.
"Do you want to borrow my Final Wars?" And I'm like thinking he's going to let me borrow his DVD. No, he burnt me a copy, and that's the one I lent to Joe. And after I viewed it, I'm like, "Joe, you're going to love this." Joe comes back to me, no. Joe was not happy. He was like mad at me that I had liked the film.
But Drew, if you had never lent me that DVD, I don't think this podcast would have ever happened, because I wouldn't have gone like, "Oh, I want to go through all the Godzilla movies, and I know exactly who I should do it with." So there you go.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Your hatred of Final Wars started this podcast?
Well, the DVD existing and you letting me borrow it. I think I'm interested to see it again. Having gone through the series and kind of probably able to approach these movies in a less critical way, I guess.
Well, we both blabbed about Final Wars. Chris, why?
Yeah.
Why is it your third from the top? I'm very interested.
Okay. I like the... I really like the suit designs in that film. I am a practical effects junkie, and like chances are, if a film has good practical effects in it, I'm gonna probably side towards that film. And that movie looks really good in terms of like just the monster battles, and maybe it's a little like Matrixy at times, and like and a little rip-offy, and kind of like it lifts a lot of stuff, but it's its own thing for sure. Like it feels like its own. I like the fact that the movie has its own identity and can like stand on its own from the rest of the franchise, and like still like people can like talk about that movie whether they like it or not. They can still talk about it, and that's something I enjoy about watching movies, is just being able to talk about it. And like I'll appreciate a movie and like it a lot more, even if it's like technically like a lot or bad or whatever. But because it provides me with something to talk about with somebody, that's what makes me, just hold it dearer.
Is your favorite subject the leather suits?
The leather suits?
Yeah, that's kind of a serious question now. Joe's just angry because it does compare itself to The Matrix, because that was the cool things of the time, blah, blah, blah. And sorry, to Joe, The Matrix is cinema. And so anything that would mock... I'm just giving you crap, Joe. Anything that would mock The Matrix, Joe's like, no, The Matrix is cool.
The Matrix is one of the greatest movies of all time.
It's true.
Trinity's suit don't like 4 people wear that? I'm having trouble remembering that movie. I honestly remember the suits, and I remember some of the monster fights, and then I remember disliking it deeply.
Well, I'd agree with you, Chris, but it gives us stuff to talk about. Like, it keeps the Godzilla conversation going. The amount of stuff to talk about from that film alone is pretty much an entire era of films worth of just conversation, because you're like, you remember when he fought this one? Yeah, and like, in my head, head canon, fan fiction, whatever, like, yeah, he would have won, or it would have went down this way, and that happens like, what, a dozen plus times in that film as he versus various monsters for a minute or two at a time.
Yeah, exactly. It's really funny to watch, like, just all these, like I brought that movie up with somebody recently, and like we watched it, and then he was asking me, so what's this guy from, what's that guy from, and it's like, that's how that movie I found is an easy way to open the door for somebody to go like maybe explore the franchise on their own, because how many monsters are in that, like 15 or something like that? I don't even know.
Gotta be.
It's absurd, and like everybody's
it's a survey of the series.
Yeah.
Except is Space Godzilla in that one?
No.
That was a quick no.
No. I think it's only if I'm not mistaken, it's only Showa.
Only the good ones?
Well, yeah. It's only like classic Showa monsters, so it's not going to have Space Godzilla. It's not going to. Well, I mean, Titanosaurus is in there as like a model, or like as like a toy, but like it's not going to have your one-off monsters too much in there, except for like King Caesar or whatever.
Zilla.
Oh yeah! Wow.
Other Godzilla.
Yeah, Zilla's in that movie.
What's of the Millennium series? Which one do you like the least?
Oh, Godzilla versus Megaguirus is pretty bad. It's like
that. You are not the first person to say that.
I'm not the first person to say that. That movie's like really bad. It's like, it's kind of funny. You guys haven't seen that, right?
No,
Okay.
I haven't.
All right. Without, I'm not going to ruin it for you, but they have I think you guys know about the black hole gun. Maybe not. Okay, well, that's all I'll say.
Okay.
That's why I don't like it. It's just kind of really far-fetched and kind of absurd. And it kind of goes against everything that the franchise is for, in a way, but I don't know if I want to.
It's pro-nuclear war?
No, it's not pro-nuclear war, but it's like, right. You know how like obviously the sacrifice in the first movie was to prevent his weapon being used as a thing of destruction. Cut to Japanese Defense Force creating a subsection of Godzilla Defense that creates a giant black hole cannon that fires from a satellite in space. That won't be misappropriated for, military use at all.
Of course not. No, they'll be responsible.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I heard that was interesting? It was on Twitter. It was the guy who wrote, or one of the co-writers of the Ishiro Honda biography. He had an argument where he was talking about how the original Godzilla film was anti-nationalist film. But given Anno's politics, the Shin Godzilla is actually a nationalist film. And it's interesting that people were comparing the two when he felt that the themes of each of the films were opposites of each other.
That's really interesting. And actually, I've thought about something kind of like that, because it's very true. And I think G-Man did an article actually on GMK versus Shin Godzilla, because GMK is kind of like that, where it's like very anti-nationalist, because that movie's all about remembering what Japan did in World War II. Mm-hmm. And how at the time, it was kind of in society and culture, like being forgotten, because, like you guys brought up, what's it like being on the losing side of a war? You just don't talk about it. And that's kind of the whole theme of GMK. And then Shin Godzilla is like almost the opposite of that, I guess, where it's like, I don't want to ruin his article, because I'm just going to butcher it, but I recommend reading it because it's fantastic. But, obviously read or watch the movie first.
I will.
Yeah,
I will, and I'll try to remember to check out the article after I finish watching it. But I heard that argument, and yesterday I was actually watching a film history doc that I've seen like a million times. They were talking about Italian neo-realist films,
right?
And that was just so after World War II, the Italian film industry started making these really kind of realistic, unsentimental movies, and kind of after censorship was lifted out of World War II in Japan, they also started making these kind of like more dark kind of movies, like Godzilla, or like the period pieces that Mizoguchi and Kurosawa were making.
Right.
And in the 50s in Japan. And it's interesting that there is some sort of effect after losing a war that makes your nation have suddenly a bunch of dark movies in a row.
Oh, for
I would
sure.
also add like the post-Vietnam era films.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States as well. I think there's something to that. There's something about a big nation losing a war, and then a bunch of dark movies coming out. I mean, grittier movies.
If you think about it, I mean, anything after a war, it's like it's all those people, like especially back then when like people were just being sent out whether they wanted to or not to fight in these wars. It's like all those people are gone and they come back and they're just thrown back into the industry like that. And it's like they've seen stuff. Like
so they want more. They want more to their entertainment.
Yeah, they want more in their entertainment, or they want to make people aware of what they've seen and they want it to stop.
I mean, I'm sure I can have a million holes poked in my theory, but that's what I thought of.
Yeah.
Last night. So you're talking about sharing movies with your friends and stuff like that. What are your go-to movies generally when it comes to like bringing someone in to the series?
Well, the first one's always good because people like, it's black and white, but I've noticed that at least my friends tend to have an attention span for, older movies, and they generally like that one, I think. But my fiance really liked that one. Out of the ones I've showed her so far, that one's good. I like showing people Hedera because it's just so out there. If they can get through it, they'll get through the rest of them just fine.
They can do anything.
Yeah.
Chris, you and I are going to get along. You like Final Wars and you like Hedera. I think we have similar Godzilla tastes.
The Godzilla in us is very strong.
Oh, man. Again, with the religious references here, we're going into hard this.
I'm trying to give you guys a good headliner there.
Well, as long as we're going on about this, so you'd recommend Hedera, but before we move past it, we've done a lot of Godzilla religion here, our own personal religion, Joe and mine. I think your nickname, man, would be the Church of Godzilla choir director. You worked on...
all right.
You worked in, music, jazz. You got our, like, scrappy young Godzilla choir going, full of all the...
I would say
all the screams.
Chris Taylor... Godzilla Missionary.
Oh man,
spreading the word.
Missionary, and then on the
spreading
weekend,
the word of
couple
Godzilla.
Hours a day. You're a choir director, man. You got to help tune all those off-pitch voices.
I also go to Catholic school my whole life, so there we go.
Oh man,
that's perfect.
Yeah, go for it.
Your entire life, you're still in
until I went to Well, until I went to college, but yeah, then I went. Then I went to music school, and then it was basically the opposite.
So, have you graduated?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What? Sorry.
What do you do with your degree now?
Nothing because of the virus. But I mostly set up stages around town in Nashville and play in a couple of bands. And,
cool!
Yeah,
you're in Nashville.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, fun times.
That's awesome. So you're like your crew. You're setting up.
Yeah,
stuff?
Lots of stagehand work and a lot of just loading up trucks. Good.
Are you okay with that tornado right before the coronavirus?
Yeah, it went just north of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just fine, thankfully.
Good.
Yeah.
We got one. There's a listener who comes on our show all the time on a different show, on the Final Fantasy show.
Right.
His name's Greg Troyan. He's got like this goofy hair metal band thing going on. But he also did the music to the movie I just made.
Nice.
which the soundtrack's, I think it's really good.
Good.
So I know one other podcast listener over in Nashville. He's a weird guy, but he's pretty cool. He knows it.
Let's plug Greg as the weird guy. He's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. He's a little weird, but he's pretty cool. No, we've shouted at each other on podcasts. This is we're a pretty casual relationship by now. Yelling about Megadeth and Metallica stuff because he doesn't like Metallica, and it always drives me nuts that he likes Megadeth more than Metallica. And I've got multiple hours of podcasts with him.
But you got me interested. Okay, just quick question then, Chris. If you're that into music, you know, jazz in your college years, you graduated, what music do you listen to?
My favorite band is Led Zeppelin.
Nice.
Yes. Nice.
And I listen to a lot of classic rock and hard rock music, but when I'm like writing and stuff, actually, I'm doing a lot of pop music, mostly because that's what clients want. Like occasionally I'll work with like an artist, they'll want like hip hop music, and I like a lot of lo-fi hip hop, so listen to that. But
so you kind of got a wide palette.
It's a really wide palette. You kind of have to, I guess. But if you're gonna be like a working guy in Nashville, right, you gotta have that. Yeah, exactly. But like the two bands I'm in are like Americana bands, I guess, so like indie rock and roll kind of stuff. Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Stump the Host. I've got 5 Godzilla-related trivia questions and a 6th one as a tiebreaker. Oh boy. The guest always goes first, and then doesn't give them any sort of an edge in this super serious competition. No, you each get the same amount of chances. It's 5 questions, man. It's 5 questions. It's 5 questions. All the beans. So that means like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna explain why that's. I'm serious this time. All right. So, and if you can't get it on your first guess, then the other person gets a guess, and then it swings back to you. Okay. And that's it. You get 2 chances if you're the first one on the question, and you get 1 chance if you're not, and then it swings the other way. So anyway, that's a bad way of explaining this whole game. I've explained it better on other episodes, but first question, Chris. The important thing to know is that Chris came on here as a friend, and I'm about to brutally take him down as his adversary in Godzilla quiz. Let's go. All right, Chris. Yes. In Invasion of the Astro Monster, King Ghidorah is revealed to be the pawn of what alien race? The Exilians from Planet X. The Zillions. Perfect. All right. Chris has 1 point. I made these a little easier than last time, I'll be honest. Savor the point, Chris. That's the only point you'll be getting. Points. In the Heisei films, how many different versions... This is Drew's question. In the Heisei films, how many different versions of Super X appear, and what are their names? Oh, crap. Would you... Truthfully, I have an answer in my mind, but like before I say anything, Chris, would you be able to get this, do you think? Yes, but unfortunately I can only You think can't of... help. All right. I know the name you guys gave it. Again, this happened last time, Joe. Before I give my answer real quick, you start with a softball. I've really, just luffing it barely over the mound, and here you come in with a fast curveball. So I'm going to say... I would have gotten this one. Yeah, because you researched the question, dude. No. I'm going to say 3 of them, and it's Super X, Super X2, and I don't know, Super X3. I probably got the 3rd one wrong. Correct. I think you are totally correct. Yes. All right. I'm not excited about that at all. Next question. Let's get this going. I couldn't stop laughing because in my head I was thinking Super Duper X the whole time. Yeah, so. Exactly. I almost jokingly called the 3rd or 2nd one, yeah.
Super Duper X. All right.
In our fan parody dub of those Heisei films, that's what they call them for sure. And I'm pretty sure that in a particular Heisei era film, if we fan parody dubbed it, Joe would be saying "Bebe" every other line. One character would only speak in "Bebe, Bebe, Bebe."
Please let me know when you do this.
Yeah. We'll guest star all our past guests. All of them.
The name of the alien kaiju, Chris, this is yours.
Yes.
The name of the alien kaiju in Godzilla 2000 is never uttered, but according to Toho, what's it called?
Orga.
Orga is correct. Wow. Yeah, that went fast. Chris knows it's Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
Drew?
Yes.
The song Come With Me, which plays in the credits of Godzilla 1998.
Oh, man.
Feature these three very, very famous musicians.
Oh, come on.
Name two of them.
Come on.
Oh my gosh. I have not seen 98 since I was a child for reasons that are very clear to our fandom.
This is killing me.
I know. I think I'm gonna go way out there. So what's the name of the song one more time?
Come With Me.
So it features three artists.
Three huge musicians.
I'm
Joe knows
no
I'm
idea.
dying inside.
I know you can be dying inside because I'm literally just shot in the dark here. I'm going to be completely wrong and made fun of, but is it actually? I dare not utter it. This is embarrassing. Is it Destiny's Child and then it's Beyonce and I don't know the name of the other ones? I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh shoot! I talked so much smack and I have no idea. Show me up, Chris.
It's Jimmy Page and Puff Daddy.
Jimmy Page and Puff Daddy are two of them.
Cheating me.
Because I was dying because it was like Jimmy Page and I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it.
They took the Kashmir riff.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's Jimmy Page, Puff Daddy, and the person who plays bass on it is Tom Morello.
Oh, are you kidding me? Wow.
Really? I didn't know
I'm
that.
a huge Audio Slave fan. I mean, I respect Rage Against the Machine, but wow, that's... Dang. Gonna have to look that song up. All
right, well, Chris leads Drew by 3 points. Sorry, Drew. Chris?
Yes.
Your next question.
And this question is just to show off because there's no way I can win at this point, so go on.
Maybe. This is the hardest question in the whole bunch, I think.
Oh, my.
Name the movie based on these alternate titles. Gorgo and Superman meet in Tokyo.
Oh, my God.
Planetary Titans.
What?
Planetary Titans, sorry.
Okay.
I'm having trouble reading my own handwriting. Godzilla 1980, which is not a clue, by the way.
I know.
King Kong, Demons from Outer Space.
Wait, these are all for one film. These are all alternate titles for a single film.
Yeah.
Wow.
And At the Borders of Reality.
Okay. I know this is Chris's question. I know. And since I have no chance of winning, because this is the 5th question, he's got 3 points and I've got 1. Can you at least give us an era, or have you already said?
I gave you a date, but it's obviously pre-Heisei. Because it was Godzilla 1980 in France.
Oh, okay.
But it is not a good clue.
Obviously. Could you? What are all those titles? Oh my gosh!
Just
all right,
roll them
one
off
more time.
Quick.
In Spain, Gorgo and Superman meet in Tokyo. In Mexico, Planetary Titans. In France, Godzilla 1980. In Germany, King Kong, Demons from Outer Space. And in Italy, At the Borders of Reality.
Is that Godzilla versus Megalon?
That's
It is Godzilla
that's what I
versus
was thinking
Megalon.
too. Because you got Jet Jaguar and Superman. That was that's so awesome. See, we all have the
only
same
one that's a
wavelength,
clue.
man.
Here's what's crazy. Gorgo and Superman meet in Tokyo. That's the only one that could possibly be a clue because of the Superman thing.
Well, I just thought Jet Jaguar, man, not to steal your thunder, Chris, but really, like, he makes the Superman flying pose, right?
Well, yeah, he does. But the thing that I thought of was, I know that in Germany, I think the explanation of Jet Jaguar is that he's King Kong in a robot suit.
True. Yep. You remember that
That's
one.
insane.
God.
And Godzilla's Frankenstein, of course.
Always.
Hey, just for funsies, you had a tiebreaker question, right?
Oh, yeah.
I did. You want
Chris
to?
has stomped me. Can Chris and I work together to figure the tiebreaker question out?
Well, here's the deal with the tiebreaker question. It's a number, so whoever's closest wins.
Ooh.
Well, we'll work together on it, see if we can figure it out.
How many copies did the 98 Godzilla soundtrack sell in the U.S.?
Oh.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
I mean, at the time, 98, that's like peak sales of CDs, right?
So that's
Like,
peak
or
CD sales,
around
yep.
there.
And there were a lot of songs on that.
And it was in the top 40 of the CDs sold that year.
And I had it.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Ba-na-na, da-na-na, dun-dun-na-na. Okay.
I 10.
I'm going to say it at least went platinum, if not double, man. I'm really going to highball the number.
I'd have to say...
I like those.
I'm going to go with platinum. So $1 million.
$1 million. Drew, what's
I'm
your
going to say
official guess?
1.2 or 1.5 million, somewhere around there.
Pick
Just
one.
for fun. 1.5, whatever, 1.5. I'll go way high.
1.5?
Yeah.
Drew, you technically got it. You're 200.
Wow.
You're
Did I
three.
go over?
You're
'Cause
200.
my price
You're
is
100. You're 100. 100 closer.
Are
So
you joking?
it sold 1.3 million copies
Oh my gosh.
in the United States. It was a platinum selling album,
Wow.
which is crazy.
I don't... Oh, man.
So Drew, you were destroyed.
I was destroyed.
You were destroyed.
Rimshot.
Chris was at, including the last question, Chris was at 4 points. Drew, you got 2. So that.
Well, you know, you're the music man, and there was a music question specifically from your favorite band,
Yeah,
including
exactly.
parts of your favorite band. So
Yeah.
I'll
Puff
graciously
Daddy.
take the defeat.
Exactly. Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy.
The Combs, man.
That's what you graduated in a music major in college from, is to have
Yeah,
Puff Daddy be your favorite
I have a
artist.
bachelor in hipping the hop.
I didn't realize he would have the soundtrack, though. I do think that gives him an unfair advantage.
Well, I don't have it on me, and it doesn't have the record sales like printed on it. I don't think.
That's right. So actually, I forgot to ask you what you thought of the American films, what you think of Shin and the anime.
Well, I kind of touched on the anime.
Yeah, we
bit.
touched on the anime.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan, but the American films I like a lot. The first one I think is really good, but the one that came out last year was something else. I took my friends to see that, and they were even talking about like scenes from it too. So visually, at least, it's stuck in people's minds, and that's all I could ask for. I personally thought it was like it had enough references and callbacks and like enough fighting for me to be entertained the whole time, and I could see everything. It was like it was basically an exercise in how to listen to your fans when they complain about your first product.
Huh.
A good summation, yeah.
Yeah. I was, you know what? A lot of people were disappointed that I was kind of like on that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a friend who like wasn't into Godzilla, and he saw it and he was like, "Dude, I loved it." And I saw it and I was like, "It was all right."
Yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So did you like the 2014 or the 98?
2014, I like. 98, it's okay as a movie. It's not a Godzilla movie, though.
Okay, you're one of those.
I am one of those. I'm sorry. I don't know, man.
Most Godzilla fans are one of those. I'll be honest, but I'll see. I haven't seen it in like 10 years, so
it's not terrible. It's just it's got problems. That every movie that's from that era, like those nostalgic kind of movies, like they all have the same kind of clunky story issues that we look over for other movies.
They all got those Puff Daddy songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a hallmark of 1990, late 90s, All right. Well, Chris, thank you for coming on.
Of course.
Thank you, Chris.
And,
it was fantastic.
This is early for me, so coming on and waking up in the morning.
Of course.
Of course, it's later over there for you.
It's just an hour, but I've been up for a bit, I guess.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for figuring out Discord in order to come to our channel.
It's all right.
And as a reminder to everybody, you can join our Discord. There's a permanent link on my Twitter page, and I'm at Joseph DeGaulier.
I'm at Drew Daybell, and I do really appreciate that we're getting this Discord really going, and we've always had our Twitters, but I kind of noticed an uptick, at least maybe on Twitter, fan, and just Godzilla interactions, period, because we're all quarantined, guys, or we should be. So please, interact. Let's have some fun on the internet, as we all don't have much else to do right now.
So the Discord's basically replaced our forums for the network. Also, our website is gone. We got rid of it. It was just sapping away money, and hardly anyone was visiting the websites anymore since we moved our forums, and Godzilla listeners were never really on those forums that much either. But in the Discord, there are specifically Godzilla rooms, and you can mute other channels if you're not interested in video games or Final Fantasy or anything like that. So you can just join for that if you wish.
When it comes to finding old episodes of the podcast, since we've done away with the website, Joe's done a really fantastic job. I think I've yet to really thank Joe on a podcast for the work he's done in getting all of the Godzilla podcast commentaries up on YouTube, as well as they've always been on Libsyn. So all you have to do is type in the Godzilla podcast and then space Libsyn, that's Libsyn, to find all of the episodes.
Yep, or whatever podcatcher, because it pretty much goes anywhere. There, So you can find the show on those places. If you want to talk to us, Discord, Twitter, those are the best places. And if you want to support the show, so thank you everybody who's ever supported the show. We're trying to get through these the Patreon invites, which we were behind on. So thank you, Chris, once again for coming on and talking about Godzilla.
Everybody look forward to Chris's podcast with his friends, The Church of Godzilla, where he is both the missionary leader and the choir director.
That's right. So thanks, Chris.
Of course.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, that's it, guys.
Wait,
we'll see you next time.
Hey, we did it last time, so maybe it'll become tradition now. Chris, you want to give us our final line?
Oh, everybody, keep it G.